Hello and welcome to Patrick Jernigan's channel. This particular video is actually a remake of the very first one that I did. Actually, it was the first video I did, period, using an app and splicing footage together. And I did for Patrick's racing memories, his trip down memory lane, basically. Patrick is my son, and I lost him in 2019. He's no longer with us. I raised him by myself from the time he was 3 until he was grown. At age 7, I got him involved in go-kart racing, and which I had been involved in racing myself, in it and around it most of my life. But anyway, I got him started in it, and when he was 7 years old in 1993. Of course, I had no idea, neither one of us had no idea it was gonna turn out to be as serious as it did. It started out as just something for us to do, and I thought we could have fun, and being that I did have experience in it, I thought we could do quite well with it. And as it turned out, well, it turned out to be a long-range goal. In other words, he wanted his sights was from go-karts to late model race cars right on into NASCAR. That's what he was hoping. Of course, he had other ultimate dreams other than just racing. He wanted to see the world too, and racing or NASCAR would have allowed him to do that. But unfortunately, that never came to be, and for reasons beyond our control. What should he have went there? Yes. Everything was heading in that direction, and he dominated the local go-kart track out here. By 1995, he was dominating it. But anyway, we're gonna start from the very beginning. I don't have a lot of footage, unfortunately. A lot of it's been lost, and but what little I have used it. I used it in the first video, but like I said, it was my first one, and there was some glitches with it. However, I still it means the world to me, because just the way it turned out. But unfortunately, YouTube and getting it on YouTube, and when I finally got it on there, 7 months later, here we are, and they went in and got some kind of a glitch, and they can't with their music rights or whatever, and the music that I put with the video, I use cover music, cover piano music, but evidently it still created a problem, and it's irrelevant. We're going to move forward now, and I'm creating a new one, and I'm going to do it a little bit different. And we're going to start from his very first go-kart in 1993, his very first trip to the racetrack, and move forward in time from there. If y'all like the video, I would appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, and to get the video out there, to keep my son's memory alive. It's something we had talked about wanting to get these go-kart videos on YouTube, years ago, and it just never came to be. And now it's getting done. But like I said, I would appreciate getting the thumbs up, and any comments you may have. Let's push this video and keep Patrick and keep his memory alive. And with that, let's get on with this video. Pensacola Raceway Park, Old Quarry Road, Pensacola, Florida.
How's it feel? Feel like a race car?
Patrick's racing journey started in 1993 when he was 7 years old.
Was it fun? Yeah.
I bought an old used yard cart, welded some bars on it, a roll bar and a seat belt, and racing we went. This track was an old facility and closed for years. And it was in 1993 that I hear that some people had taken it over, opened it up as a racetrack for go-karts and catering to kids. And they was operating under the name of Gold Coast Raceway. And then in 1994, it would become Pensacola Raceway Park. Long history behind this asphalt racetrack. It dates way back to as far back as I know as the 70s, early 70s, when I came to it to ride go-karts here as a kid, and it was a rent-to-ride track. Just little underpowered little rent-to-ride go-karts, wasn't no racers. The track catering to kids, they had several classes for the children, starting with Yard Cart B, which is where Patrick started. They had governors on them, and they had wheel speeds that had to be all set the same. I can't remember a lot of things way back then or exactly how long he ran this first class, but it wasn't long until I actually built his next racer from scratch myself and bumped him up to the next class, which was called a Yard Cart A class.
Here's my championship trophy, and I only raced 3 months. And I got a 4th place championship trophy. And yard cart is very low, very low. And over here, this is not a 3-horse like this is not a 3-horse like my old go-kart. This is a 5-horse, and it goes faster.
Okay.
Still uncertain of just the exact dates, but this was around the end of 1993, and this was Patrick's second racer that was built totally from scratch. And this was the Yard Cart A class, which was one step above from where he started, from the B class. They still had governors, and the wheel speeds had to be all set the same, but they was a little faster. They was allowed to run the wheel speed a little higher. This was actually the first race in this new home-built kart in the new class, and Patrick would capture 2 out of the 3 races that day, which would turn everything into a more serious direction.
Patrick Jernigan. All wheel speeds need to be checked.
It does really bad. A championship race is October 8th. Now all I know is I'm going to win. See you on the racetrack.
1994, the track would become Pensacola Raceway Park under the new management of Dickie Davis. 1994, the third home-built from scratch racer. Same class with the Governors, A class, A yard carts.
Sponsored by Auto-Shine, Tom Shear, and Fast Eddie. Fourth row inside.
1994, the season championship for the A yard cart class with the Governors. This would also be the last year before several rule changes. Up until this point, all the children's classes, their go-karts only required a roll bar and a seatbelt. The following year, the rule would change that all kids' carts would have to have a complete full cage. This video is also in memory of Tom and Wanda Shearer that owned Auto Shine Plus back in the 90s in Pensacola, Florida, and also in memory of all those that were involved in this racetrack and racing back in the 90s that are no longer with us.
Everybody looks good down the back until the 14 to 12 run side by side off of the 29. Carter takes a motor outside. It goes to 1 and 2. The 14 to 10 to 28 to 12. The 2 to 31 to 37 to 15. White flag, won't have to do it again. Come on, Patrick. Come on, Patrick.
This race was also the race of controversy that was explained more in detail in the full race video. 1995, Patrick advanced to the next class called the A restricted class. While it wasn't a WKA class, meaning as in World Karting Association, kind of like the NASCAR deal, this was a local track created class. And the Governors was removed and a restrictor plate was added between the carburetor and intake. This class was much faster than the previous two. Also, the bars was added, making all the kids' classes have full roll cages. It's also the year that Patrick really started to shine. What many people fail to realize in racing is you can't just take your racer out of the garage on the weekend and go racing and expect to be successful and win. In order to do that, it requires a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of tweaking. And just because you're the fastest this week doesn't mean somebody else won't be faster than you next week. You have got to constantly be looking for speed. If anyone would have drove by our house at any given time, even late at night, back in those days, they would have seen me out there tinkering with Patrick's go-kart. You got to tweak this, tweak that. It's about, one thing is friction. The lower the friction, the faster it's going to go around that racetrack. It's kind of like a combination on a lock. You got to keep working that combination until everything comes together and make it work. And that's what it's all about. And it's a never-ending thing. It's nonstop. You got to keep doing it and keep doing it to be successful and to push the rules to the limit. Moving into 1996, same class, A restricted, Patrick's fourth and final home built from scratch racing go-kart. And Patrick and me was proud of this one. I was getting better and better at building them, and Patrick was getting better and better at driving them. And he was winning more and more. Of course, some people wasn't very happy about that. But by this point in time,
Yep, touch it.
We didn't go to the track to race. We went to win.
It says playground.
And that's
racing,
exactly
Milton,
what we
Florida.
did most of the time.
Patrick Jernigan, number 10. This is Pensacola Raceway Park.
Leaving you now.
Not sure the exact date, but at some point the track would fall under new management of Paul and David Ubelstead.
There's Night Genie.
Take a side view of the go-kart and trail.
There's the side view of it. You know, proof. Here's Randy. Here's Patrick. Aaron. Huh? Here's Gene. Video camera now.
I believe having the children involved in racing was a great thing. It was very educational in many ways, way above and beyond just racing a go-kart. While Patrick had certain responsibilities to help me at the track and at home, I did most of the work on the go-kart because I wanted him to focus on driving the go-kart, his schoolwork, and just being a kid. And by the time he was in the 5th grade, he was on the A honor roll and did well in school from there forward. We were a winning team at that racetrack, and it was the combination of everything that made all that work. This was Patrick's 1996 season championship in the A restricted class. Several of the competitors didn't show up that night, and naturally he would go on to win it. He would also claim 14 feature wins out of 18 starts in 1996. However, the High Point Championship was never in his reach, for he had to leave to go to Michigan to visit with his mother during the summer, missing 6 to 8 weeks of racing that knocked him out of the running for it. He could be leading in points when he left, and when he come back, winning every week, and he still couldn't catch up. But it didn't matter. He was a winner, and everybody knew it. He won his season championship races from 95 to 98. He would wind up raking in over 150 trophies, and most of them being first place in the years he was involved.
This guy right here needs no introduction. Patrick Jernigan, 13 out of 18 races this year. There's nothing wrong with it. Patrick Jernigan, sponsored by the Caribbean Tanning Salon. Super job, Patrick. Super job. Give him a hand, folks.
As 1996 came to a close, 1997 opened with Patrick advancing to the next class, Junior Restricted, wheeling a brand new factory adult racing chassis.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I'm here with Patrick Jernigan. Patrick, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I understand that you have moved up and got another new car, right?
That's exactly right.
All right, now what was you running last year?
Last year I was running A restricted,
A restricted? And what have you moved up to now?
junior restricted.
Junior restricted. What's kind of the difference there? Is this a bigger motor or
It's got a bigger restrictor plate in it, and it's a lot faster.
a lot faster?
You have to drive the track different.
What are you running the track in right now? What kind of time, do you know?
About 10 flat, 990s.
Whoa, that's cruising around that track, isn't it?
Yeah.
1997 season championship junior restricted. A few of the competitors didn't show up. However, Patrick would have preferred them to be there. While these were factory adult racers, basically following the same rules as the adult class, because of the age range between 12 and 15 for this class, they were required to run a restrictor plate with the intent to slow them down. However, they were running just as fast as the adult class. And when Patrick broke the track record, in order for him to get the credit, we had to tear his brand new motor down to prove it was legal. And even though his name went in the books and his time, he never really got the recognition that he deserved. And despite the confrontations, the politics, and other issues, it truly was the best times ever. Unfortunately, I have no video footage of 1998. Plan was to move Patrick into late model race cars in 2001, but that would never come to be. 2004, Atlanta Motor Speedway. I believe this was in November. Things are much different today with all kind of racing experiences out there. Most anyone can take a ride in a car if they got a few $100s. However, back in the day, things were much different and far more expensive to get in a race car. This was an actual racing school, or at least that's how it was titled back then, and it was a 3-day course. The instructors were so impressed with Patrick, they pretty much just turned him loose on the racetrack. And the attention, well, it seemed very different than anybody else. It is in a more serious nature. Patrick really wasn't comfortable in a racing machine unless it was built around him, set up for him, driver's seat, positioning, everything. And these cars wasn't. They was just set up for average drivers. And Patrick just made the best of that. And two, while these cars clearly wasn't race day competitive, he was still running average speeds around that track at over 170 miles an hour. With a smooth line, Patrick was running, and not that far off the race speed, which was 190. I don't think it went unnoticed. We had hoped that this maybe would turn things around and put us back in the direction we wanted to go. But unfortunately, that wouldn't be the case, and we would drift further from it. After all the hard work, all the planning, the deep down in the soul burning desire, failure is not an option attitude, this would wind up being the first and the last time Patrick sat in a race car. After 2004, Patrick had pretty much given up on going racing. We kind of held on to hope until about 2011. 2012 would take Patrick in a new direction. A move to Michigan, restaurant management, and he landed a job testing pre-production automobiles. In 2017, Patrick was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of ALS. In 2019, I lost my son, and the world lost a very special person.